Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his findom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action of communication.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child. You tell
keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, scissor me, daddy, like that, all right?
No, you know.
This is not the fucking thing to do. Like,
They think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy.
Hey,
help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hands slam down on top of it and grab it.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, I'm be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening?
Yo, I don't know why. I don't ever think if I ever edit this video, I'm ever getting rid of that. Because your face with so much sincerity was like, first of all, are you drinking the Capri Sun? Hey, yo, I never, like, that Capri Sun was so good. Like, every time I see that, I literally go back to that time I had that Capri Sun.
It looked like, let me find, here, wait, hold on, here's a lip gloss. It was like you were holding this. The Capri Sun was tiny in your hand, just like you were holding
it. Was not that damn little.
It was.
Oh, shit. I done gave myself a solar flare to the face.
Just
Light skin time. Pow. But we are here. Everybody is here. My man Tapping No Capping, my man Conman. Thank you for coming through. My God. Yes, sir. Lance, what's going on, baby? Welcome to the stream. So listen, we are live on here. I'm live on my Instagram too. That's the part. Everybody that's on the Instagram side, shouts out to y'all for joining up with me. I don't know how long many of y'all gonna stay and sit back and listen. But if you are here and you're chilling with me for a quick second, I thank y'all so much for coming through. I'm looking at the names right now. India, thank you for coming through. Curvy Black Witch, I have told you need to come up on the podcast because you're a dope person. You're cool as shit. My man running only Ron Star. What's up, Ron Star? And then my little sister Catrice. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for joining in.
Where are you seeing these people?
I'm on it. Listen, they on the Instagram side.
Oh, likes my blush.
Hey, yo, Lance.
He likes my blush.
Listen, I'm protective with my co-host, bro. That's how I go. What's up, Mel? How are you? Hold up,
Mel.
Mel, I'm doing two things at one time, Mel. I'm not multitasking. I can see both of them.
Thank you.
How about that? DBZ references. Do you know what it is, my man? Man. What's up, Craig? How are you, brother? How are you doing today? Mike on another app? Yes, I was.
Okay.
Kiara, what's up, baby? She's definitely looking pretty today, isn't she? Yeah. Isn't she lovely? Yeah. Well, listen, thank y'all for coming through again. We had a dope ass episode last week where we talked about our childhood and everything that went down in it, all the fun stuff that we did, all the AOL times, all the kid times, all the adult kid times. It was just a fun time. I got some good clips. I have clips of you too. I just got to send them to you so you can start posting them on your page. She just smiled. Look, that smile means I ain't posting shit. But
no,
anyway.
I actually recently got the ability to repost people's stuff like on stories. For the longest time, and there was a lot of stuff I couldn't do on my TikTok, but I can do it now.
Right. Okay.
You saw what Mel said. You see what Mel said?
I see what she said. Did you think I was paying attention to what Mel said? Yeah. Anyway, This shit is dope. Listen, I feel like I'm the first of my kind right now. I'm actually live on TikTok, not TikTok. Sorry, not TikTok, Instagram live while we're live on YouTube and while we're live on StreamYard. You know, I mean, we doing our thing over here. You know, me and you know, we about to get paid. But anyway, Tore, Tore. I'm
Great.
sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. Listen, I just want to have fun today. That's all. But it is kind of a little bit of a little bit of topic. Y'all make sure that y'all following us. Look at all that down there. Make sure that y'all are sending these subscribers out to people. Listen, I only got 1 week left. Y'all got until Friday. If I don't see who been following us and the people that's been referring to people to following us,
so let's make sure, because some of these
that's
people might
$50.
not hear when you said it before. Tell them what you were doing for them, Mike.
You know what? I don't even want to tell them. Basically, you tell them for me, please.
Okay. Whoever brings the most people here over to subscribe to the We Got Questions podcast, to join us in the live, to subscribe to us. You bring your people, you have them come in, they subscribe. You let me or Mike know how many people you brought, who they are, so we can see them. And the 2 people who have brought the most people over to join us for one of our shows or games. I had one I was able to pick up at our local Best Buy. The other one was not anywhere. It wasn't at Target. It wasn't at Walmart. It wasn't here at the Best Buy here. So I ordered it and paid extra for it to be shipped to me like the next day.
Right.
And the person was supposed to be bringing it. It was en route. They came after hours on a Sunday, drove up to the leasing office, whose leasing office is opened after hours, like after 7 p.m. on Sunday.
Right.
And then they went up there and then said delivery, unable to make delivery, returning the item. You didn't come to my apartment. I paid for somebody to bring it to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you thought that on a Sunday at 7 o'clock that you were going to find somebody in that leasing office. You knew you weren't going to find anyone in that leasing office. So then I had to call Best Buy, tell them what happened, tell them how pissed I was. They are now having it sent to the store. I should have it, I think, Thursday, hopefully. I don't want to have to get ugly with it, you know. But
okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sorry that they gave y'all hell. You know, shouts out to them for being assholes, you know.
Right.
But
hopefully,
did you get your results of what you wanted?
We'll see on Thursday. If it's in the store, I can go pick it up. And if it's there, then I don't have to cuss anybody else out. If not, then we'll start all over again from scratch.
Start all over again. Fuck them. All right. Yeah. So let's get to the task at hand. Okay. So today, basically, and once again, I thank y'all for joining on both sides. I have completely nobody on the Instagram side, but it's whatever. You know, that's the work in progress. So everybody, hold on. More comments coming in. Ask for his third credit for your.
Oh, you believe I'm going to?
100%. And get cake and send it to me. Listen, why did it just happen to me and they couldn't redeliver it because it got lost in transit? Oh, okay, that's what they always say. It got stolen.
The fact that I saw her pull into my neighbor, because you could track it. They don't use like FedEx and all that stuff. They use someone else.
Okay.
But I could track it still, and I saw them over here by my house, and stayed home because I didn't have a delivery time, so I stayed home all day that day. No one came up to my apartment. They knew the leasing office wasn't going to be open.
They knew
7 p.m. on Sunday. They knew that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just thought that was extremely rude. And you're gonna either give me what I paid for shipping back, or you're gonna find some way to give me a store credit. It's one of the two.
Pretty much. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they'll figure it out.
Pick which one.
Pick your struggle, Ducker.
Right.
But anyway. All right. So while we're here, we are talking about, if y'all want to talk about packages for a little while, I think everybody don't mind talking about packages. If y'all want to talk about packages.
No, it's okay.
You sure? Yes, the driver didn't even get out. They pulled a Erskine. Zoom.
It's like the anger, like don't do. Oh, it's the worst time to do that. Like, especially knowing that I can't find this game anywhere. Don't do that to me. Don't do that.
That's how that should be, though. They really do. It'd be like that.
Yes. Okay, but so last Mike has been trying to say, and we keep messing it up. We keep coming in with our shopping experiences. Mike has been trying to get us to talk about what tonight's topic
I'm gonna
is.
try.
It is it's a good one, and I would hopefully some of you guys want to come up because I would love to hear everybody's experiences because it's also a very inclusive topic. We're talking about fetishizing and like over sexualization of people. I feel like everyone probably has experienced it to some degree at some point in time.
Yeah.
Um, if not
Now,
every, yeah.
I was going to say, and my teachings and my learnings of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
this is something that happens every damn day of the week, probably seconds and
Absolutely.
times. Every single day, someone is being sexualized, fantasized, fetishized,
Mm-hmm.
all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
happening every single day while they suck monkey balls.
Yeah.
All right. I don't even know what that was in reference to, but got you, Tori. All right. But I, so one of the biggest things I learned was, and to give the definition of what fetishizing is, I would look this up right now so
I
everybody
have
has
it.
a
If you want,
comment.
I
Go
have
right
it.
for it. Go right for it.
It's to have an excessive or irrational commitment or obsession to something. That's fetishizing. And so
Yes.
when we're talking about fetishizing in this particular context, we're talking about the fetishizing of people, like their bodies, their features, their cultures. Like people can be fetishized for being plus size, being a black male, being
Mm-hmm.
Asian. Like trans bodies are often fetishized, and it runs rampant. I think probably the place that you can find it most evident, at least to me, is on social media. I think I probably have seen it most. Oh, y'all, why I have to stop talking with my thumbs because
And no, you're gonna get the thumbs up. You go ahead and keep doing it. Yeah. It's a celebration, bitches.
the place that I see it the most probably right now is TikTok.
Okay.
And I think maybe I don't know if it's because I'm on TikTok more, but when I'm on Instagram, I don't see it as heavily. It does exist. I do see it. So I'll just speak from my own personal experience. Mine comes from, of course, being a plus size woman. And I follow a lot of other plus size women. So, content creators, models, and stuff like that. So I get to see it in that. Um, I I have women who I follow that are professional plus size models who may be modeling something, and even whether it be lingerie to just regular clothing, and then you go in the comments and it's just the ickiest, like it gives me the ick to read the comments because it's almost like, to me, the key to being fetishized is being made to feel like an object as opposed to a person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's almost like objectifying a person. So you don't see me as a human anymore. You see me as a thing, like an
It's an
object,
object.
an
Yeah.
object of sexual desire.
Mm-hmm.
You are not looking at me or treating me like a person anymore. I'm not a person in your eyes. I'm a thing for you to look at and be aroused by. And that's when it gets icky, when you start to talk to a person in that way, when your comments start to lean towards that. There's even, and I was telling you about this, there's a guy that I think I'm still friends with. I don't know if I've unfollowed him because all of his content was really kind of giving me the ick. He makes a lot of comment where he posts plus size women,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just him like staring, like mouth open. And a lot of times the people that he posts are women who do sort of pander to men who are, I don't know if you'd call them chubby chasers or whatever, but like men who they kind
What's
of
going
pander.
on, Sade Fields?
So he'll post something
Stuffy Duff.
that like he'll post something that like is a woman who might be pandering to that audience, but it's just like it makes me feel icky. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because there is definitely a very fine line between like being fetishized and admiration. I think some people don't know where the blurred lines are, but I think when you're the person on the receiving end, you know what it feels like because you feel like it, you know, it feels like you're being objectified. What you say, the line between is definitely it's objectification. That's what I think the line is.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe objectification is embedded in both.
Yeah, it is because if you sexualize somebody, you use the
Yes.
same thing.
Yes,
Same
because we're going to talk about both of them because they're definitely two.
Yeah, that's why I think he
They're-
might have walked in on the last one.
They're definitely two different things, but I do think objectification is a great part of both. Like it makes you feel like a thing. You don't feel like a human. When I feel like your attraction to me has everything to do with the way my body looks as opposed to me as a person. And that's why I said there's a fine line between the admiration of a body and fetishizing or sexualizing something, because you can say, I am attracted to this, but it's when everything that surrounds it, it just makes you feel like they're just looking at you like a thing and not as a whole, like a human. And it gets really yucky, at least to me. And I can tell the difference because if I see a man who's making a post about how he loves plus size women, I think there's a difference between a man who's saying, no, I'm attracted to plus size women, versus a man who's like, there's this other guy. If I can find him, y'all, I know that I unfollowed him.
You know that.
Yes. He does not make a post unless it's something to do with being plus size. Mm-hmm. Every single post he talks about BBW women, plus size women. If you this like, and it's almost like, okay, we get it. We get you like plus size women, but also relax, because now it's gross. Now it's creepy.
Right.
You don't got nothing else to talk about?
Yeah.
And but it doesn't just happen to plus size women. It happens all across the board.
It happens to everybody. Yeah. I feel like it's just that addiction to it. It could be a very bad. It's an addiction to like wanting someone that bad. Like one of the biggest issues that kick in is the fetishizing of Black women. That's a big ass thing. Like when white men just want to be with Black women to say that they've been with a Black woman. That is a husky example of that. Like they want them because it's like it's a conquering thing. It's a whatever thing. And then when you get with the Black woman, you tend to make situation happen. Like trying to see an example of it. When you want them to degrade you as a white man, you know, treat me, show me what I did wrong to you in your past and all this other shit. And it's like, bro, that's a sad,
am I a
sad
social experiment to you? Like,
no, I think it's called racial fetishism or something like that, or racist fetish or something like racial fetish. Something along them lines. But I know that, you know, that's a big ass thing too. And it's just like, then it's just and it happens with our own people too, of course. So you good?
The wind is blowing so hard that like I thought I heard
the thumb went up while yeah, go ahead.
I heard, and no, it was just like I didn't know what was happening.
Apparently your thing agrees with you too. So
and right, it was like thumbs up. It is. It's Have you ever experienced it yourself? I know as a Black man, I have a friend who says that a lot of times women are in his DM and they're like, "Ooh, I love chocolate men," or it doesn't feel like genuine attraction because you find like I'm an attractive person. Even if you're attracted to Black men, it's the way you're talking to me that now makes me feel like I'm a pet or something for you. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I hate worse than it gives me the ick to hear women say, "Ooh, maybe no, I'm not going to say this because I feel like what I'm about to say is very specific to a specific person that I know a lot of people probably in here might know." But there's a person that we know that makes one particular statement about Black men in context to her, and she's not a Black woman. And it literally makes me like want to throw up every time she says it because it feels so objectifying. It almost feels like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's so gross to me. There's a difference because there's a difference between you saying I love to date black men, but when it's the wording, like it's the verbiage. I don't even know. Have you ever had that happen to you? Like, do you ever feel like you felt objectified as a black man, like from a woman?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I
What are
feel
some
like
things that have been said to you?
I feel like this is something that has happened to me, and I get mad about it. I want to punch somebody about it, but I've had people say, "Well, men do it to women all the time, so what's the problem?"
Does it make it any better?
And I be sitting here like, "Well, who the fuck is you talking to? Because I'm not them people." Like, did you try to know who I was? Like, and I've had people say that to me. "Oh man, women deal with this shit all the time. You'll be all right."
Like, I'll make it.
Well,
Bill's coming.
oh my god.
And there's nothing better than your disappointed face, which is, it's just so funny because you'll just be like, you look so let down. Yes, my mic is black.
This shit funny, ain't it?
Oh, she's just so crazy.
He is
like,
annoying, yo.
Comes out of nowhere. You never know when she's gonna say something crazy.
You know what the problem? You know what? I'm gonna answer your question like a fucking boss right now. The fact that I am black is the greatest thing on the face of this planet because I am not what everybody sees on a daily basis. That's exactly why I always say I'm no one's type because I do not exist in people's world. Unless you see me, you won't know that I actually exist. You don't know that as a black man with freckles, ginger, with red hair. You won't know that I exist, regardless of whatever it is. And I know, Mel, you're not being serious. I know you're playing, but I'm just saying this is for anybody.
Yeah.
Like they don't know people like me exist because you're used to seeing the same people that you're used to seeing. Unless you see me, unless you see people that look like me, we don't exist.
Right.
Unicorns.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that shit because I can sit back and say, hey, look, as many words, hating shit that come out your mouth, I can take your girl. Like that's all I got to say. Like I'll just keep it as that.
Do you ever get? Story said, "E.T. is he
Yes.
extraterrestrial?"
Yeah.
Have you ever?
I'm bullshitting when I say that. I'm not that type of person. But go ahead.
Have you ever gotten overly sexual comments from women like in your DMs that seem very race like? They're centered around you being a black man. It's not like you are so sexy to me, but it's like you are sexy because you're black. The reason why you're sexy is because you're black.
Mm-hmm. I got it all. I feel like I've had, unless I hear something different, I feel like I've gotten it all. Like, oh man, I love me a black man. They love this, and that's fine. I'm with it. Like, you love a black man, you love a black man. But I have had situations of that. I've had situations of, they just like me because I'm a black man. Oh, words? So you seen it? I ain't trying to hear your shit, Mel. Bye.
I have a ginger nephew. One of my nephews is a ginger. It's cute.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's dope.
My youngest nephew. Yeah, he's got red hair.
He came out looking like a unicorn.
For men, I know for women, I don't know if we handle it differently, but what is your response when you get that?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't really have one because I don't know how to respond to that because it's not something that normally happens to me.
Yeah.
So when it's something that's normal, I can kind of play around with that or answer you a certain way. When it's something like extra, I'll just be like, and I'll just look at him. I don't know how to answer this shit no more. Like I'm just stuck. Like
me too, Tori. Me too. I prefer them. But the thing is, and I think the way I just posed that question is probably the best way I can describe fetishism to me.
Mm-hmm.
If a person can say you are sexy because you are this, and it's one singular thing that is not inherently supposed to be sexy or not supposed to be a sexualized thing. You are sexy because you're black. No, that's just who I am as person. Like you are sexy because you're a plus size woman. I mean, I can be a sexy plus size woman, but if the only reason why you find me sexy is because I'm plus size, is weird to me. It's weird. That's weird. Like the thing that makes me sexy, the only reason why you thought I was sexy was because of the plus size.
Right.
which means you can't find anything else sexy outside of plus size. You know what I mean? And it also just makes you feel like an object and a thing that you're just looking at. But I'm not a person. I'm my weight. I'm not a person. I know, like I've had guy friends who have said that because they have been approached that way, and because women have done things like call them chocolate or made whatever references to their blackness as the thing that makes them sexy, they won't date outside of it makes them less likely to date outside of their race. Because they feel like they always feel like they're being looked at by the opposite race as like an object. Ooh, confetti.
Yo,
I have to
got confetti just happened out of nowhere. That's what's up. All right, look.
And they will leave you if you talk about losing weight. Yes.
Agreed, and they will leave you. Yes, yeah. And shit is sad. Like it's almost like it's control all mixed in that shit. It's fucking addiction. It's just all the shits is just mixed in that stuff, and it's sad. It really is. And like I said, I feel bad because when you have someone patronize you and then they come in there and tell you all the right things and tell you this and oh man, you know, black women, you know, that's my thing. You know, I love black women and blah 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 blah. And it's like then when you get in there with them, you start doing little shit that's just fucking corny. Like to me, and here I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily the right term, but I always felt as though when people portray black women a certain way.
Oh yeah.
When they treat, you know, when we got the people dressing up like black women and thinking that they talk like this and stuff like that. It's like a form of something to me. I'm not gonna say it's fetishism, but it's weird. It's a weird thing. You want to be a black woman so bad that you will do these things. You will alter your body to look like us. You will, you know, or like my women, you'll alter, you know, you'll do things that make you seem like you're just like them, you know, and then try to move them to the side. And then guess what? You get a person that do the same things, and guess what? Here goes that bullshit word right here. The number one fetish word that I hear all the time. Exotic. I hate that fucking word. Don't call me no exotic person. That shit is annoying. Do not call me exotic.
Can occur between two people of the same race, or is it no? 100% it can.
Wait, I've experienced people of the same race, or is it only between people of the? No, it's the same race. Hell yeah, you can experience that. Yeah, I just learned about this.
Because especially when I was younger, not so much when I was as an adult, but when I was younger, people.
Okay, Chaz.
In my small town, not knowing what my race was or what I identified with.
Yes.
And also because of the way that I look, right? Or because I might be lighter complected.
Okay.
100% it exists within my race. I have been called exotic or different because of the way that I look. Like, yes, I'm mixed with Puerto Rican and black. Yes, but I'm still a black woman, right? So to have those experiences with people within your race who I become the object of desire because of my skin color, or because I don't look like everybody else, or because I look mixed, that is like, that's still icky and weird to me. Equally icky and weird.
Lex. My God, Joe. What's up, Joe?
Colorism, but almost in a different way, like in a sexual kind of way. Like, it's because I look like I'm mixed. It's because my hair looks a certain way. It's because I don't look like
Joe, big time.
What they think is the typical black woman, which is also ignorance because black women look all different colors. We all look different. There is no one typical for a black woman. That paper, right? But because I looked a certain way amongst my race, I have had men who were like, I was the object of desire because of things of just because of my complexion or my hair texture or the way that I looked, and because I looked different and exotic to them, then I was a thing. And I'm like, that's not cute either. No, I don't want you to want me because of that. Like, that's not cute. Right. And it doesn't make me feel any more sexy. It actually makes me feel like you're icky because that's what you're looking at.
Okay, so I am texting with I'm only gonna tell you this because usually she's here, but she just told me that she's vending right now. Rachel is in a part of the show. She's out vending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's out there getting that money. But shouts out to Rachel. Well, that's so Raimi.
Did
She's out
we
there getting the money.
put up
So
Chaz's comment where he said it's socialization through select media, and that's how you get people like
you may
Danielle?
go back to him.
Yeah,
Go back to that. Okay.
Danielle Bergoli. Who's this?
We're gonna star this comment.
Who's Danielle Bergoli? Do I know this person? I'm gonna Google him. You can go to the next person while I look up Danielle Bergoli.
Okay.
And
oh, this definitely yes. Mel. I really do, and I'm gonna say this now because there's some brown skinned women that are absolutely beautiful that I know. Period. Mel is one of them. Toys is another one.
I know who it is.
Who else we got? Well, they're gonna say Tori. Tori's brown skinned woman. I think it's the bullshit that you get called certain things, like pretty for a dark girl, you pretty for a big girl, you pretty for this. That's some old bullshit, man. That it really is. Like, how do y'all live your lives and say stuff like that to people and actually feel proud to say that shit?
And what's so funny is that they say it to you and think that you're gonna take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I have men, and that was their pickup line. I don't usually date big women, but I'm making it.
But I'll make an exception.
You don't have to make an exception for me. I'm making an exception for you. How about that? Surprise. I'm making the exception for you. You're not making an exception for me, but do you know how many men have said stuff like that to me and then thought that was going to like make me melt, and I was going to be like, ooh, he's going to give me a chance because I'm a big girl and he don't usually date big girls. So, but I'm the one that's worth it. No, please don't make me your experiment. Don't experiment on me.
Pretty much. Don't be. And did you hear what I just said? Me, Mike. Sometimes Mike's is the experiment. I'm just being honest. Like, people don't believe me until I'm like, yo, of course you don't believe me because you're not me. You don't know what that shit feels like. Just to be feeling like a fucking experiment sometimes. Like, you try me out because I'm different. That's it. I'm not your typical fucking person. Like, I'm a big ass fucking nerd. I'm into certain things. I do certain things. I might not be the same person. I don't have tattoos on my body. Like, I've never sold anything. I've never been locked up for shit. Like, so that means, oh, you're not, and it's crazy because there goes another situation. Oh, so you're not black. Like, oh shit. I get that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think though, for some people, do it now.
Like, frame it. No, I'm writing with reading what Chaz wrote.
I will say that I do think that there are instances where people don't even realize that they're fetishizing and that they are acting in a way that seems like they're fetishizing.
Everybody on the Instagram side, thank y'all for joining.
They think that they have a preference and that they're expressing a preference, and they don't know the difference because there can be a very fine line between preference and appreciation of a certain like look or demographic, like whatever. There is definitely a fine line between those two things. And I think some people don't know where that fine line, like when they're crossing that fine line.
Right.
And I really don't know like how to explain it because I almost feel like you have to be on the receiving end to know when you're being objectified or to be able to say that makes me feel like you're looking at me like a thing as opposed to like an actual person. Because people will often make the argument, like I was telling you, there's a young lady on TikTok. Her name is Faith Montoya. She's a plus size social media influencer. She does a lot of plus size fashion content and stuff like that. And she has often talked about being fetishized and how
about to get to you, Matt.
How it's difficult for her to date. Because of being fetishized. And there was a little bit of a back and forth between her and another content creator. He had taken her video out of context when she was talking about being fetishized. He didn't really know, like, because he's never experienced it himself. And he is a man who appreciates plus size women. And a lot of his content sometimes does talk about the appreciation of plus size women. It is never in an icky way, but he does often talk about it. So when he took her video and stitched it, he kind of like was talking about how he disagreed with certain things that she was saying. And I think both of them kind of had a learning experience because she didn't know that he's more, people think of him more as an advocate for women who are not the standard, typical type of beauty, and that she is a plus size woman who is often, he didn't understand that she's a plus size woman who has experienced fetishism and what that feels like for us.
Right.
But it was him sort of like trying to understand or learn the difference for us and what it feels like. You saying that you like plus size women is one thing. You making it into a thing where we are objects of like, are purely objects of desire only because we have big bodies and because you love our roles. Like that, when people start saying stuff like that, like people don't get what that feels like because they're not on the end. He didn't even understand what it meant to feel like you're being fetishized because it hasn't happened for him. And maybe it has, but just not to that degree. Or maybe just in a different way. Because he was a Black man, so I'm sure at some point he had been fetishized in some way.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't know what it feels like to feel objectified in that way, then maybe you don't understand it. But like I said, there's a very, very fine line. I've had people who will be like, you can say something to them about what they said and why it feels icky. And they'll be like, well, I just prefer bigger women, or I just prefer Black men, or I just prefer whatever. That's just my preference. It can be your preference. But you right now sound like you don't see anything other than just that. You don't see the person. You're not acting like they're human. They are a thing, an object of desire, and that is it. And that's what it sounds like. Your verbiage sounds like this. It doesn't sound like this is your preference. It sounds like this is something that you just want to get off.
Right. So it sounds like I said, it sounds like you, for the most part, you've dealt with your share of these fucking idiots, basically, that fetishizes you, treat you like as if you're just an object of their affection. You this for a big girl and blah 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 and all this other stuff. Listen, y'all better stop playing on my friend's name, yo. Don't play on my friend right here, yo. Don't play on her. Basic is cute. That's a cute one right there. You fucking around.
I'm curious what confidence in yourself do you want to be found sexy by other people? Don't get me wrong. In saying this, it's not to say that I don't want people to look at me and find me attractive.
Right.
Because I do want people to look at me and find me attractive. But I also would hope that you find my mind, my conversation, my personality is also attractive. Facts. I don't mind if I'm your type and that's what makes you look at me initially. That's the thing that draws your eye to me. I don't mind that. But I also want you to look at me and know that I'm more than just that one thing. If you say I like plus size women and that is what made you look at me, okay, that's fine. But I'm hoping that that is not the only reason why you're attracted to me. My thing is, I'm hoping that you want, or you're even interested in digging deeper to figure out what else you're attracted to. Like, do I have a good personality? Am I an intelligent woman? Do I have good conversation? Are we compatible? Like, the only reason you find me sexy cannot just be because I have a bigger body. That cannot be it.
Right.
There has to be other things that you see in me that you think makes me attractive and sexy to you.
Right.
Outside of just that thing. That can be the thing that made you look at me, because maybe you are attracted to you like full figured women. That's what you're attracted to. So that's what made you look at me. But my hope is that that's not the only thing that I am to you. That there's more than that.
There's definitely got to be more than everything. More than what that was. Like, just liking somebody over their bodies shows everything right there, because eventually that'll show up in the relationship itself if y'all have one, or if you're heading towards one, because he's a touchy-feely person. He wants to just grind all over you, touch all over you, kiss all over you, make love to you, sex you, fuck you, whatever the case is, just wants to do that. But it's like, they don't even know your birthday.
Yeah.
Like, nah, okay.
What was that Chaz was saying up at the top?
I'm about to right there.
You doing a lot of work when it comes to the fine line between who they've historically been attracted to and straight up bigotry. True.
Mm-hmm.
There is a fine line.
Chaz be speaking like that.
We can't. Everybody can't be everybody's.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's just everybody can't be everybody's type.
Mm-hmm. Not at all. Again, not at all.
Most people can't even define preference. Right. That is so true. There's a TikToker who did this on what preference meant.
A TikToker did that?
Yeah. And it was because of something like this. It was based off of another TikTok that happened where something like this happened where a person was talking about being like sort of like fetishized and looked at as an object, and a person saying they preferred this over this, but they obviously didn't know what preference meant. You know what your preference means.
Right.
Funny enough, for someone to be hot in my mind is when they have both looks and personality to match. Some of my labels for attraction are just looks based though, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, the first thing that makes us attracted to a person is what we see, obviously. Because if you don't know the person, we're visual people. We look at a person and say, oh, that's an attractive person. And then it should go beyond that, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it is initially physical, and that is perfectly okay. It is also perfectly okay for us to know what we like physically, and it could lean more towards one thing than the other. That is perfectly okay. But I think where we're talking about the issue coming in is like when you have a thing and the person is just that thing. The person is sexy and sexual and they're over sexualized to you, and it becomes a hypersexual kind of like fetish to you because they are that thing.
Right.
This is why sapiosexual is bullshit. It's not a real thing. Well, Marcus, let me ask you this, because I might not know like the full definition of what a sapiosexual is, but I thought that it's just someone who is turned on by a person's mind.
It is.
So why is being sapiosexual not a real thing? Because you can't be sapiosexual initially, of course, because you don't know what's in someone else's mind. But I do think that you're fully capable of being turned on by a person's mind and how they think. Maybe you can explain that to me.
It's basically a sense of people being highly attracted to people. Yo, Vis, what's going on, bro? I called you after the show. I hit you. But a sapiosexual is a person just highly attracted to a person that is intelligent, that has a certain level of intelligence. That's all.
Okay, Marcus, don't do this. Why? He said, do you think Stephen Hawking had panties thrown at him? No. And I'm not saying that you can only be attracted to so I get what you're saying. I understand what you mean, but
you still have to have an attraction towards the person too.
Yeah, like I think
it's the person.
Like I was saying, like you have to be physically attracted to a person to even know what they're even go to that next level. But I do think that for some people, like have you never had an instance where you're not necessarily attracted to a person physically, but the two of you end up talking and vibing, and you feel like I really like you're attracted to the way this person is? What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at his Stephen Hawking comment? I
was trying my best not to think about this shit. Like he's sitting in the chair. No, man, let me shut up, yo. Go ahead.
Chaz was saying, that wouldn't sapiosexual fit somewhere in the aromatic asexual scale? Maybe. I don't know.
It could, because it's very like I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's very centered, like a certain way. So it's not necessarily that you find it in all people. You could just find it in a particular person. It don't matter.
I definitely don't think that a person can only be sapiosexual.
Hell no. There's others that apply
You
to
just
that.
walk around looking for beautiful minds and you ain't looking at nothing else?
I just pay attention to that first out of me. I noticed of course I noticed the person physically first.
Mm-hmm.
But once you start talking, that will determine where we go from that point.
Because I'm a person that will tell you there is nothing. I do look at looks, but when a man, especially if he's an attractive man, that's a bonus. But a man, even if he is someone that I'm not typically attracted to, listening to a man know how to speak and speak intelligently is so sexy to me. Right. He may not be necessarily my type or that I look at like all the time, but just like listening to him talk, and if he can articulate himself and he can speak well and he's intelligent, super sexy.
So let's ask the audience. Let's put two and two. Let's put two together to make this a thing. Okay, obviously sapiosexual stands alone by itself. It's just I think that when people define things, they add more to it. They don't just treat it as if just one. It's just like when a person says they're
Sorry, I was reading Tori.
He said I'll be pregnant before the conversation is over. Wow.
Marcus was just saying, no, people use sapiosexual to be pompous, and it often disregards the underprivileged and lower socioeconomic backgrounds. I can see that it can be used that way. I can see that.
Yeah. Now it makes more sense to why you think it exists and why you think it's bullshit because of how it's applied and how it's used. I always say this big thing is that the fact that we don't know the world 100%, like all of us and everybody that we know, believe me, the amount of zeros that's in front of the people that we know compared to how many people it is in this world is ridiculous. So it's like, who knows how people is applying it? But I can imagine, just like Marcus is saying, that this is an actual thing for most people.
I just opened Mel's text to me. Her dad is a light-skinned ginger man with freckles.
So wait, do you question your dad and say, well, you question me?
Her dad is a light-skinned ginger man.
Mel, come to the stage, Mel.
He's not ginger though, but it looks like it. Maybe a little bit. He's a little ginger.
I mean, half black, half ginger. That only makes sense. Anyway, Mel, come to the congregation. We got something to talk about.
But yeah, no.
What that means, if that's your daddy, you ask me my black.
It's just like it looks very red in his like goatee and beard. Not so much in his hair, but I don't know if it's because of the shadows of the pictures.
What's up, Char Renee?
We was doing 35mm pictures back in the day.
How
we
were
doing like
Charlotte?
4K.
But yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say anything. But yeah. Oh, okay. Marcus said, and it's not to say that intelligence isn't a thing that people find attractive, but it doesn't need a category or a sexuality spectrum. I can agree with that.
Okay.
It doesn't need it. I don't think it needs a sexuality.
So I need you to write a dissertation and send that shit over so they can get it taken out. or add to, because I'm big on add to. Don't give me a flat definition. I need to know what's under that definition and under that one and under that one. Like I need shit to be defined a little bit more. Like don't be like, oh yeah, I'm demisexual. Okay.
He's got a point. Confidence, good hygiene, ways of dressing can turn people on. Are we making categories for that now? We are not.
No.
We are not. We don't need to. I get what you mean. That does make sense.
But that's why I'm saying, like, instead of making it a category, even if you was, how do you apply those things that helps with sexual attractions? That's all. How do we make it a sexual attraction? How do we actually add to it? Are we just saying, hey, I just like the smell of a straight man. I like the smell of a gay man. Like, are we just doing it just that way? Just to say that overall, this is what I like from that particular type of person? Or are we going to throw I would say extra stuff with it, the side things, like besides this part, besides who I am, what are these things around me? What makes me who I am? What's a part of my aura that makes you like me?
Right.
Yeah.
What do
why metrosexual isn't a thing. In fact, look, you good.
What do those people smell like?
I I don't know. I'm just saying as an example. Chad, sit your goddamn ass down. You know what the hell? I didn't mean it no type of way. I'm literally just saying that sexual preference has a smell. No, oh my God. Y'all not getting it. I'm basing it off of good hygiene and everything that he's talking about. How can we could just put it in something and define it a little bit more? She sounded like sniffing people.
Like the game
Like the game
commercials.
commercials, yes. But it's that I'm just saying, how can we categorize it and add it and put more context on it? Because it's like you just smell good. Okay, that's fine. You know, we keep it as that. But there's a lot of things that are changing in the world that are adding to the world that in my personal opinion, sometimes make things easier for people.
Yeah.
Or it could be a problem too. But go ahead.
Do you feel like social media has sort of made the gateway to like people being fetishized even easier? Because I do feel like there's also on the other side of it a group of people who definitely pander to the audience that fetishizes.
You know what that's called?
For likes and for followers, they definitely pander, to that audience. So it becomes a thing where you have people like I was telling about that guy who posts plus size women and he just looks with their mouth open. And a lot of times it's posting women who it'll be a bigger woman who's up there just like shaking.
Oh no, Charles, I completely understand.
She's just up there like shaking her belly or jiggling her arms in like panties and a bra because she knows she's pandering to that audience. So she's objectifying herself, which makes it, I feel like, helps to make it easier for them to for people to objectify. If it becomes a social norm for people to objectify themselves, then it makes it easier for other people to objectify you.
Can I say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Two things. One, algorithm. That's the reason why it happens. That's why the reason why social media does it. I don't like blaming social media for things that people do on social media because they make it what it is. We make
right.
I know my algorithm, and I'll be honest with you, I don't give a damn if we just talked, we do whatever. I got a lot of titties in my algorithm. I apologize. When I go and look and search some things, I'd be like wrestling titties, wrestling titties. It's just bad.
Not wrestling and titties.
It was my fault. I understand wrestling and titties, but look, all right. So back to what I was saying.
Right.
So,
wrestling and titties,
right. So, I also think that maybe people can, Rick reacts. Okay, mindful of ass. All right. Hold on. So, people do make content that's specific for people. A lot of the time, some people make disclaimers. Maybe if they don't, maybe they should make the disclaimer and say, this is what this is. So now you can kind of separate the people. If you're an objectifier, you're going to sit your ass right over here. If you're here to watch her shake them arms, watch her shake them arms because you know what you're here for.
I know what you're here for. I think someone making content with the intent of being objectified is different from those who don't. Almost like a social contract being signed when that's being done is a transaction. 100%. It is. But I think my point is like, and you're right. It's not TikTok as an entity that's the problem. I'm not blaming TikTok as an entity is the problem. I'm talking about the culture that exists within social media. And that because there are people who are okay with objectifying themselves for a transactional purpose, like Marcus said. I'm going to do this to get more followers, to get money, to get more views. If I can make myself into an object for people, whether it be because you think that fat bodies, and I'm only using plus size because I'm a plus size woman. That's what I'm talking about because, that's what I can identify with the easiest. But like, I'm using my body to get views because either somebody's going to think it's gross or somebody's going to think it's sexy. So I'm going to stand here in this bra and panties and I'm going to jiggle my stomach and wiggle my arms so that you can see it move. And I know that I'm going to get something out of it. But I do think that because it happens so much, that it also sometimes can desensitize people to thinking that there's a problem with it. with objectifying people. And I think there can be a group of people who don't even realize that it is objectifying people when you see people who objectify themselves all the time. It becomes a norm. So you don't even realize that you could be doing it to somebody who doesn't want to be objectified, because people can disguise objectification under like the guise of, oh, I'm just proud to be a plus size woman and I love my body. That is perfectly okay. But there's a difference between that and making yourself a sexual object only to be looked at. There's a girl right now who I still follow on Instagram, and I didn't even realize this. I don't know where my head was, because I used to, when I first started socials, I started off socials as a plus size influencer. And she happened to be a girl who ran in similar circles with me. We had like the same sort of other plus size influencer friends.
Right.
I did not know that her niche were her big boobs, right? Until I started to look at her stuff and I was like, her titties are out in every single photo. Like, I mean, like she's got big boobs. But I didn't know. At first I thought it was because she had big boobs, so I could see them all the time. Right. Then I realized, as I'm looking at people, something's so wrong with you. As I looked at her stuff, it'd be her shaking them, or, you know, whatever, or like doing stuff to draw attention to it. Like she was, and then I was like, oh, I get it. This is her thing. She's not just a plus size influencer.
Right.
She's wiggled her way into another niche, which is like the fetishism of big boobs. Mm-hmm. And so she does things like all of her stuff is angled like at her chest, which is, I mean, she has a huge chest, and she'll do stuff like that is very overly sexual.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, I didn't even realize, but I was saying, sometimes I think because we're in this movement of appreciating all body types and appreciation of plus size bodies, that sometimes people find themselves hiding it under the guise of, I'm a plus size woman who's proud, but really it's more like, no, I'm trying to fit into this niche to get likes. Now I'm going to show everybody my big boobs, or, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? It almost desensitizes people, which kind of segues into the next thing that I want to talk about, which is like just over sexualization of people.
Before we get there, we do have a question.
Okay.
One of our guys, Joe Hurdle. For you, Basic. Question. Okay. For Basic, would plus size brothers get the same love as opposed to women, or is it only that fetish for women? No, brother. It's definitely for you too. Oh my God, it's for you too, bro. You don't understand. Oh no. We're probably the same person in a way. I'm not a plus size brother.
A group of women who love teddy bears.
Go ahead, do it again.
No, because I'm gonna get confetti.
You gotta put them out further. Yeah, you gotta get a confetti. Go ahead.
It won't do it when I want to. But there's definitely a group of women who definitely fetishize teddy bears, and that's what, you know. And so no, I think it goes both ways. 100%.
Fetishizing teddy bears. Yeah. See, she spoke on it, the fetish right there. She said it. Go ahead, say it again. Plus size what? What's the name of them?
Teddy bears.
Teddy bears. Exactly. Bullshit.
You can definitely be fetishized as a bigger man too.
What's going on TikTok?
Oh my gosh. It exists.
Shout out to you plus size teddy bears. I'm gonna just put a whole bunch of collages, a whole bunch of big body dudes just hugging up, and then I'm gonna put Marcus in there like this.
That also goes along with what I was saying. Men often will call themselves teddy bears not because they want to be made an object, but because they are appreciating their, you know, the heavier, bigger dad bod, whatever you want to call it, which is another thing that can be fetishized, dad bods. But their appreciation of their body and being a bigger man, and like, you know, you want you a teddy bear. A lot of them are like, yes, I do. But if a woman came to you and she only wanted you because you were a teddy bear and she made you feel like a thing, that's when it's fetishizing.
Basic. Did you just bounce your boobs just now?
Did I bounce them? Okay. Just to know, I touch my boobs a lot anyways. On a regular basis. Like, I forget that I'm not supposed to touch them.
Then you go paddle, like,
yeah, I touch them a lot.
She said big bodies. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I touch my boobs a lot. They're just there.
Like, I got you.
If it's a porn category, it counts. I agree. If it's a category and somebody can make you a thing because you are a thing, like, yeah, 100%.
I guess so.
But it's this desensitization, I think, that exists, and that's what I was saying. Not that social media as an entity or TikTok or Instagram is the problem. It's the culture that exists within social media that makes us desensitized to these kinds of things. And only if we're in the receiving end and we don't like it, is that it kind of becomes a problem. And that's what I feel about.
Sorry, you come up here and bounce them. Go ahead.
Over-sexualization happens. So I'm gonna speak as a woman. Mm-hmm. I can be having a conversation in a live about a Marvel movie, and at the same time,
the perfect example. Go ahead.
Being made into some sort of sexual thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Someone could be looking at. I'm geeking out over here talking about something random, and meanwhile, there's a man in my comments talking about my mouth. Meanwhile, there's a man who's looking at my boobs and not me, and has no problem telling me that he's looking at these and feels no shame.
So
no shame in saying any of that stuff. I am not a woman who's talking about movies. I'm a woman with a mouth that looks pretty. Like, it's like, why do you think that's appropriate to say to me? Why
so you over here talking about Avengers and shit like that? Yeah, I can't stand Thanos. You like, hey yo, what that mouth do? Like, hey yo,
and never fails. You've been in my lives. I've had men walk into my live and say something extremely obscene and sexual to me, like when they first walk in, and I'll say, hey, you can say hey, and I'll just speak back. But talking to me like that, that's not going to get you a hey. Like, and they'll be like, oh, I'm not that bad. I was just trying to get your attention. You're getting attention by making me into some sort of by being overly sexual and making me into some sort of sexual object, when really all you have to do is say hello and we can hold a full conversation. But what you don't have to do is make a sexual reference to my body or what you trying to find out about me to get my attention. That's disgusting. Mm-hmm. They don't. But also that's one factor. But also I think people just don't realize what's appropriate versus inappropriate now, because the lines are all so blurred. Like, especially now with social media and the way people talk to each other. I have sat in lives and people be talking.
You've been in our lives, good brother.
You have. I know you have, Tim. People just say the wildest, craziest shit. I have friends. Okay, we'll all talk about the TikTok that I made on the couch. That was not extremely sexual.
You want me to put that on here? Let me go get it.
No, we don't have to. I mean, you can, but we don't have to. We can. You can. No, you can, so people can see.
Consent.
It was not. Yes, you can. It was not meant to be overly sexual. Was it sexy? Yes. Do I see how people can think it was sexy? Yes. Do you know how many gross comments were made to me based off that TikTok? And I've seen so many worse things. Do I realize why people thought it was sexy? Yes. Do I realize why people thought it was? Did I think it was going to get the kind of response that it did? No. Did I think that people were going to say some of the stuff to me that they said to me? No. It was just, it started from like I wish I could be that couch cushion. Like, okay, that's a little gross, but let's just can we relax?
I'm about to go get the big comfy couch. I'll be right back.
Everybody wants to, and it was one of my most liked videos. It had the most views. I don't think it had the most likes, but it different had.
Oh, don't worry about it. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get the thing on here.
It's not my most liked or most, but it's on my top.
We're gonna play Basics top 10 videos. I'm playing.
It's pinned up at the top. And it was so
see, hold on, time out. Now I'm gonna get my white guy one. You know damn well that video is popping, and then you always be like,
no, I don't think I knew that the video was going to draw attention, but it wasn't overtly
y'all
sexual.
Gonna see his cake.
What I did was not overtly sexual.
No, it wasn't.
But what was said to me, was disgusting in response to the video. Like the things that were said were gross. And at one point I had to start saying, let's just stop talking about it because it's really making me uncomfortable. Like, I don't mind that y'all all like the video. I get it. But why do you feel like because I made that TikTok that you can talk to me like that?
Yeah.
Like, it's just icky. Because I didn't do anything that was overtly sexy. There was nothing scandalous about it. Do you see the curves of my body? Yes. Am I wearing anything? Is it scandalous? I wouldn't even call it scandalous.
Hey, Tori, can I post on one of your dinosaur videos? She was. No, I ain't gonna do that. All right, hold on. Let's go to the basic ones page.
I would say it's definitely one that probably will trigger a person's imagination, and I get it. I get why it can be looked at as sexy. I don't think that means you have to talk to me like I'm just like some slut off the street. Like, don't talk to me like that because I made a video that you thought was sexy. Don't get nasty with it.
Right.
And a lot of people did. Like, a lot of people said like some really inappropriate stuff. And people who like thought of me as their friend thought it was okay, which is crazy to me that they think that it's okay to talk to me like that just because I posted something that looks sexy. Why can't I do something that looks sexy without being talked to like a porn star? You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's crazy that that's what they automatically went to. I'm not saying you can't look at it like it's sexy and not see what's sexy about it. I get that it's sexy. What I don't get is why that makes you feel like you can talk to me any kind of way.
Right. That is a factual facts. That's a factual fact.
and what's so funny is that I don't think that for some of them, I don't think that they thought that they were being offensive. I think they thought
they didn't think they was being offensive.
No, I think they thought it was funny, like just kind of like it was like a little jab or like, oh, they thought that they were playing it up. But it really kind of crossed the line because then you had people who didn't know me that were also in the live when certain comments were made and who I wasn't friends with and who made comments that were overtly
Shar, I'm coming right to you, Shar.
Line. And then I felt like it's really making it weird because now these rando strangers think that they can talk to me in this very disgusting way that isn't cute. You know what I mean?
Okay, so on my Instagram side, shouts out to everybody that has joined. I see a couple of y'all in here. Maya, what's up, Maya? Shar, Renee on my side, she wrote, food for thought. If a person who is unconsciously objectifying themselves, if they only get praise for certain attributes that they have, would y'all consider them to sexualize themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she was kind of speaking on earlier. Yeah, she thinks that they would be sexualizing themselves by doing something like that. Yeah. Shouts out to the TikTok side. I mean the Instagram side of things. That's how you know I got my shit mixed up. I'm so used to talking about TikTok. Uh-oh, here it comes. All right, y'all, get y'all popcorn.
It ain't enough for you to fall in love. I want you obsessed. I want you obsessed.
It was just her on the couch. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it was just you on the couch.
That's it. Do I get why it's sexy? Yes.
I think your phone or somebody liked it. Something liked it.
Do I get right? It wasn't crazy, right, Tori? It wasn't like too much. But if you would have heard the things that were said to me in response to that video, it would have gave you the ick. Don't start, Tim.
I'm sorry.
It isn't. That's the crazy part. It wasn't a crazy thirst trap. It was cute. It was kind of sexy. It was flirty. But people said the most outlandish shit to me because I posted it.
The only funny comment I seen on there was like, I would love to be the couch. I think that was the funny comment that I seen.
And I didn't mind those kinds of comments. I didn't mind that stuff. Tim said, run it back. I didn't mind those comments. I didn't. I got why people would think that it was sexy. Like, I got it. But people, well, thank you guys. Thank you, Tim. I get it. But the responses that I was getting from some people was like it was some sort of trashy, nasty TikTok, and you would think it was the most scandalous thing. And I was like, yo, really are running this in the ground? Like, you're making me feel really uncomfortable. Like,
that shit's wild. I gotta run
just
it back
because
one
I
more time.
post something kind of sexy does not mean you can say anything.
I gotta run it back one more time for the people at home.
It ain't enough for you to fall in love. I want you obsessed. I want you obsessed. It ain't enough.
Oops, sorry. I'm gonna say shouts out to the couch.
But those are the comments that I laughed at. It's when things crossed the line and people started to feel like they could say anything to me that really made it feel weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That song. Oh no, they played it.
That song was fire. That song is fire. What song is that? Can you send me the name, please? And if you send me the name, I need that so I can add it to my Chocolate Girl playlist.
I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Tim is drawing, my lord. And in the gray or new favorite color.
But it was wild. It was wild, the mixture of responses. Like, some people would say stuff like that, which I think is so funny, and it's like, that's not a problem. Some people talk to me in the rudest, lewdest ways. People
Shout
online under anonymity. But here's the wild part, Marcus. Some people weren't anonymous. Some people were my friends. Some people were people that I knew that just said crazy, wild shit to me because they thought it was funny. And I'm like, I don't even know if you think that's cute. Well, how do you think that's cute to say to me?
That's a good one right there, Craig. My go-to song, I'm gonna just say one.
I don't have a go-to.
You don't have a go-to?
No. Mm-mm.
Listen, I know he a little cliche, all the other good stuff, but it's a Keith Sweat song called Chocolate Girl. That shit fire.
I don't even know if I know that one.
That shit fire.
I'll have to Google it and see if I know it.
I like that old shit, like Genuine, Only When You're Alone With Me. Listen, songs like that.
Mike, you can listen to the music that most people don't be listening to.
I listen to that deep. Never mind.
Remember that Timberland song? Mel, you still in here?
Don't even worry about it. We moving on in our lives. And the Genuine song is the Timberland song.
Tank does have some good.
I like it when you lose it.
Say Yes Floetry.
I like it when you go there.
Oh my gosh.
Recipe for disaster. I'm just trying to take my time.
Something's wrong with you. But yeah, that was that. I mean, that just kind of like that. I think people are. Another reason why sometimes I don't go into certain rooms, like on TikTok, certain lives, is because I don't. Every conversation that I have to have with people has to be like overly sexual, and I don't want everybody talking to me like that.
That's facts.
Everybody don't get to talk to me like that. So I just, it's a. I'm telling you, everybody's desensitized. Everybody says the craziest things these days, and they feel like it's okay. Mm-hmm. But to something that Marcus said, when he said people online under anonymity are vile, this is so true. I remember telling somebody, and Mike, I'm sure you probably heard me say this too in my live. I said, watching people on social media and the things they come in here to say to me, it is amazing to me the amount of bravery that you get when you sit behind an avatar on social media and the things that you feel like you can say. Do you walk into rooms and talk to women the same way you just walked into this room and spoke to me? When you meet people face to face and you see a woman, do you say the same shit that you just came in here and said to me to her? Do you walk in and talk about, oh, I wonder what that mouth do? Is that how you walk up to a woman when you walk into a room that you've never met before? Or do you only feel comfortable doing it because you're here in this space, so you don't mind being disrespectful as fuck to me?
Oof.
And if so, that is wild. That's the way you think you should treat a person just because you're behind an avatar and no one can see your face. Because that is cowardice. Like, that just lets me know that you have no power on the outside, so you come in here and you use it and do all kind of outlandish shit because you in here.
She going and get him, get
I
him,
hate
Tiger.
that. Like, and
Get him,
I've
Tiger.
said it at least once in every
Fuck
live
you,
that I've
Rose.
ever done. Because when I tell you, men walk into that room and they say all kinds of crazy stuff to me, and I don't get upset, like I don't get offended, but I'm gonna put you in your place. I'm gonna let you know, do you like, is this how you handle yourself on a regular? Is this the kind of person that you actually are? And you'll be surprised. Some people will be like, oh no, that's not, no offense. I didn't mean any offense by it. I was just trying to come in and be funny. It's not funny. It's disrespectful because I'm a person who deserves common respect, like you show any other person when you walk into a room. Yeah. Just because you don't know me doesn't mean you get to talk to me any kind of way.
Right. Hey, look, bitches be bitches, man. Don't let them. We don't let people talk to people like this. Like, we can't say it around me.
Exactly, Joy. People think that
I banged to the Sonic R soundtrack.
Being comfortable, he's so crazy. Being comfortable with your sexuality does not mean that leaves room for people to say anything they want to you and cross any line. Tim said, I'm unsweet tea, nasty, but I can't.
Melda made her way back.
Unsweet tea, nasty, but still disrespectful. Like, I'm still nasty, but respectful, though. People can drink tea.
That's fucking wild. Y'all are wild.
I like that analogy, though. I like that. Unsweetened tea. Nasty, but still respectful.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Simply Joy said, I definitely understand that. Like, yes, I'm definitely a very sexual person, but that doesn't mean you just get to cross any line.
Right.
No. And that's one of the biggest things. Some people be thinking some people so nasty they just could do anything. Yes. One time, I always said, I had conversations about this where we talked about the sexual limits and certain things like that and where you would take it. If we have a conversation about it, I ain't going to try it. I don't give a damn how nasty you want to get. You better, if you want to be, fuck it. If you want to be choked and slapped, you better say something because I'm not going to just voluntarily do it. Then you can be like, oh, he must not be into me that much. Nah, I'm into you. I'm just not into slapping the shit out you and you don't want to be slapped. Like, I'm just not going to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to grip you up. I ain't going to do all the nasty things if I ain't got consent to do this shit. I am a consent-based person.
You know what's funny, Mike? I have seen it happen to you in a live. You being over-sexualized quickly in a live, and I could sense your discomfort so quickly. You were in a live once, all of the windows were open, and you came in and everyone was like, oh, Mike's this tall, and this is what Mike looks like, and he's this tall, and automatically every woman pounced, and it was climbing that tree. Can you lift me? This is, and it was like you didn't know any of these people. You had just walked in the room, and automatically everybody started talking to you in a sexual way. And I could tell that you weren't necessarily comfortable because you were like, well, okay, well, it was almost like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, you didn't know anything.
Yeah, like
automatically it was.
I'm like this high.
It was every reference about your body, what you could lift, how, like, what kind of positions you like. It was wild, and I could sense the awkwardness in your, like, I could feel it just by listening to you talk, that it was a little uncomfortable because you almost like, I just came here to say hey and tell you about my podcast, but this is weird. Like, I just came in here to say hey, we have a podcast. But you guys come in.
You know what's crazy? Based off of what you're saying, everybody thinks I always go the other way. They always think when that happens, I embrace it. And I'm like, oh, Mike, yeah, he being this. And I'll be just sitting there looking at people like, y'all just do not know me well. I could be attractive to people I don't know. I can't say I don't care, because if you're attracted to me, you're attracted to me. But I've never react to people like that. It's immediately makes me uncomfortable. Immediately. Like, I don't think people understand that about me. It's like, I'm raising the potato salad nasty. What the fuck, Tori? Hey,
oh my god!
Shit, that probably.
You weren't in there, Tim. You weren't. Not in that.
Some be in there. I bust in the game over jingle plays. What?
Wild behavior. But it is. I've had to tell friends I've had to tell certain friends that don't realize that they're crossing a line, that they're but not with me, with other people. I've been in alive with multiple people. And one of my friends, I have a friend who never knows when they're doing the most, when he's doing the most. And he says very inappropriate things to people who don't want that kind of attention, not just from him, but in general, right? And he says the most inappropriate stuff. And I have to be like, you need to chill. Because you're doing the most. Like, number one, she don't even want you to. She is not looking at you like that. You need to relax. And now it sounds icky. Now you look like a predator. Because you're talking the nastiest stuff and she ain't even looking your way. And why can't you tell by her reaction that what you were saying is unwanted? Read social cues. Like, get it together.
Well. People do not read social cues well. I do not know why. I have no clue why. But listen, I'm going to tell y'all this before we continue on. Everybody that's in the comments, thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for joining us. We still got time left. I'm not getting off. I'm just saying, thank y'all. I need y'all to like. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you need to send that shit to somebody so they can come have fun with y'all and have fun with us, this is all it is for. If we try to have fun, we almost at 100 subscribers. I'm proud of us because we going up and not down. We're not losing motherfuckers, hopefully. But, you know, only thing we can do is go up. And that's where we want to go. Up, up, up. I just need y'all to share it out to some people if y'all have some time. All it is just for some conversation to come in here and say fun and say what's up. Chill with us, get to meet Miss Basic over here, get to meet your boy Mr. Hennessy, and you know, sit back and talk shit with us and listen to us, you know, have our great conversations because this is what we do.
Joy, you probably know who I'm talking about. You probably know exactly who I'm speaking of. I'm sure you probably do. That also leads to another thing, and this I'm going to target towards my curvy women who are in here with us.
Sexualizing.
There's the same young lady that I was talking about earlier, Faith Montoya, has also talked about how she can wear these same clothes that a slimmer woman would wear, and automatically, because she's wearing it on her plus size body, she's too sexy and it's inappropriate. It's the same outfit that somebody of a smaller size could wear and it never be, yep. And it can never be, and it can be the same kind of outfit, but because she puts it on her curvier plus size body, it's automatically inappropriate to wear out. She especially had this problem though, because before she became a social media influencer full time, she was a substitute teacher. And sometimes she was wearing things that were in no way, shape, or form sexy, but because they fit her body differently, because she had bigger hips, bigger butt, bigger boobs, she was a curvy, you know, she's a plus size woman, so she's curvy, because it fit her body in certain places, she was still told that it looked inappropriate for the environment that she was in, that it was inappropriate for her to wear certain clothing, that she needed to wear bigger, baggier things. And to me, that's what causes, like, that's also a form of like sexualization of a plus size body, when we can't wear certain things because automatically we're too provocative. And it's also taught to young women at younger ages, especially girls who developed before their friends. There were a lot of things that I know I can speak for myself that I was taught that I could not wear as a younger person because it was too sexy and it would make men look at me. And I just wanted to wear the same thing that my friends was wearing. But because I developed before everybody else, things were inappropriate now on my body. And I couldn't dress the same. I was just having a conversation about online censorship, and it's wild how bigger bodies are policed online for the same things thinner bodies do and get no blowback. So true. And don't be black and do it. 100%. We are automatically seen as, our bodies are almost obscene, like bigger bodies doing things that I have seen the most outlandish stuff from small little petite bodies, especially from women who are not of color, that there is no flag. They get tons of likes. The video has gone viral. Everyone has seen it. Let me mess around and wear something too short, too tight, showing a thigh. I'm gonna get some sort of violation or warning. It isn't gonna be pushed.
You're gonna get disrespectful talk. That's what's gonna happen. Like
I'm right. I'm
when
not
women.
only will I get disrespected, but I'm gonna get automatically where it's too sexy, it's too inappropriate. It's not good for like people to see. Like it's our bodies are considered inappropriate because they're bigger, curvaceous bodies, and then don't add black onto that.
Right.
Then you really on a whole other level.
Right.
Now we're really too sexy.
People
and
ask.
It happens all the
time. Excuse me.
Definitely, I learned that early on in middle school. Exactly. As a child, it was the worst. It made me very self-conscious of my body. I remember my first year of middle school. It was when my body really started to form, like in 6th grade. And it was the first time that I ever noticed getting any attention at all about the way I looked at my body. And I remember wanting to drop out of school. I remember feeling uncomfortable in everything that I wore. I was a tomboy already, so all of my clothes were a little bigger, but you could see my boobs poke out. I had hips all of a sudden, and that made me even more uncomfortable that I was a tomboy, and that was still inappropriate. And then it made me wear even bigger things because now I'm like, everybody's looking at my body. And if I wore anything that was even remotely somewhat fitted and not oversized, all of a sudden I had to be afraid of how people were going to look at me because my body as a 12-year-old girl was all of a sudden too much and too inappropriate to be able to wear regular clothing without being looked at like a sexual thing. Crazy. This is as a middle schooler having to deal with that.
That shit's sad.
Oh, Tim said I can't even wear my little shorts now. I'm a whole hoochie daddy. I don't even wear.
He said I don't even like hoochie. Them is fucking silly, man.
Oh my.
All right,
God.
so as we said, the over sexualization and things, obviously that's a big thing because of course we talk about the fetishizing, of course we said something about the sexualized, all of that mixed in, but like one of my biggest problems. Oh, you gotta walk away. Okay. One of my biggest problems that I feel like people do a lot is well, you kind of mentioned it, me coming into a live, and next thing you know, all the things are said to me. You know, I'm the topic of the conversation. Not saying that I don't like tension. I just don't really. What can I do for you at this point? Like, what do you want me to do for 17, 18 different women that want to literally do whatever they said they want to do? I was just not that person. I'm not. No. I'm just not that person. And it's like,
am I breaking up for y'all? Is my signal breaking up? Is this signal weird for me a little bit?
It goes a little bit in and out, and a little bit. Are you behind a little bit?
No.
Yes, you are. It took you a second to answer me.
No, I just was thinking. But I hear you.
All right. I hear you. All right. Anyway, but yeah, people getting over sexualized. That's just the shits that happen all the time. A case with the rapper Sukiana. Remember what happened with her? Do you remember that? Basic.
Nope,
her internet is betraying her right now.
It is.
Okay, guys, it's gonna be me just for a second because she gotta reset her shit.
Yeah.
She'll be back. Yeah. So listen, y'all. Yeah, it froze up on it just quick. You know, I'm here. I'm gonna talk y'all heads off till she walk back through this door. So yeah, yo. Tell me what y'all want me to know before she get back here. What y'all want to talk about? If I can't answer the question, I'm just not even gonna look at it. Sorry that I'm looking like this. The camera is directly in front of me right here, but the monitor is that way, so I'm looking that way. I should reverse my camera so I can look this way, but no, I don't want to. I like looking away. I don't want to hear nothing. We're doing pretty good, so. Like I said, once again, shouts out to everybody who come through, who enjoys the podcast, come through, say hi to us, and chill with us.
Oh, this better. Okay.
What did he say? I don't even know what it means. There we go, man. I mean, this is why I like Joe, man. Joe, I look forward to you coming back, man, all the time. Sometimes I go to these episodes and I'm like, where's Joe? I need somebody that just want to ask basic questions and not sit back and just say some crazy stuff. No, everybody asks good questions, but I'm doing pretty good. I am doing amazing. I am enjoying life. I always have fun every day of the week. If you can't have fun, then you're not living. I can't lie. You living if you can't have fun. But listen, you just gotta have fun in life, or live it the best way that you possibly can. Because I choose to be happy every single day. So, and I have legitimate people that tell me, "Hey, you wasn't lying. Your ass is happy every single day. I don't know how you do it, but you're happy. You just want to be happy. That's it. I choose happiness." Yeah. But what were we talking about?
You were talking about Sukihana.
Oh, okay. So Sukihana's situation, right? She remember the guys that would just come up to her and just try to kiss her in her mouth?
No.
Yeah, like she was just sitting there with a panel of people chilling, talking, whatever the case is, and a guy legitimately walked up to her and just tried to kiss her in her mouth. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna show you how you do all that shit you be talking in your songs."
Ew.
And he literally kissed her in her mouth, and then it was like another guy, like literally talking about how much, how much he about to bang her out and do this and do that and shit like that. And I'm like, bro, you wild, man. You are really wild. Like, she's sitting here uncomfortable as hell because this is just her, like, her expression of music literally turns these motherfuckers on so much they feel like they can touch the women now.
Ugh.
Like, bro, you are rapey. A rapey.
Right.
We're gonna just say that. He was behind her. She was sitting down. If you go back and look at the video, she was sitting down. He walked behind her, walked up to her and grabbed at her neck and lifted her head back and just started kissing her mouth. They were on stage. I think he was a part of the panel.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he was a part of the panel. The other guy was real drunk talking about what he gonna do to her, how big his thing is, all this other crazy stuff, and it's like he just was saying all types of stuff to her. I'm gonna show you how this work. I'm gonna show you how that work. Like,
I'm telling you, people say the craziest shit.
Like,
So, like,
it's crazy because some people get turned on and they appreciate the feeling of being turned on. And you got some people that get turned on and turn into straight fucking savages. Like, they turn into straight savages.
Yeah. Well, that has everything to do with like oversexualized, like the fact that you feel like it's okay to talk to someone like that. Like they're not even like they don't. It's why do you think that's okay?
Okay. Why do I think? Oh, she was saying it's on yeah.
It was another podcast.
She said it was on another podcast too. Like, yeah, these people just start touching people and they feel as though they're entitled to do that. I'm entitled to touch you. I should be able to touch you anytime I feel like it.
Wild.
Like, why would you think that you're entitled to go ahead and touch people?
I wonder, is that a thing that men experience? Like I was talking about earlier, that women oftentimes, and it starts from us from being little girls and on, we are often conscious of what we have on, what we're wearing, and how it might be perceived by people, and what people might look and how people might treat us because of what we wear. Even if it isn't the most provocative thing, we still in the back of our minds might have this level of self-consciousness about what we are wearing and how we're presenting ourselves. Okay. Do men ever experience that, like where they're thinking that they have to be careful about what they're wearing because they might be over-sexualized and may make people treat them differently, and they may become like they may be looked at in an unwanted way. Like, did you ever experience that as a boy or even in your adulthood? Did you ever feel that?
No.
Was that a conversation that you were ever taught? Ever had?
No, probably not taught. I think that I learned that later on.
But the fact that we as women are taught that early on, that we are responsible for the way a person objectifies us by the way we dress, is crazy to me. The fact that that we are all conditioned to think that the way we dress is a reflection of how we're supposed to be treated. And not to say that I get like there's extremes, right? That you can't have your whole ass out and not expect for somebody to look. Like, we know people are going to look. But the fact that I can't wear certain things because then that means that there is no license that for someone saying anything they want to me, and for a person treating me any kind of way because I said I was going to wear a certain thing. Like, now because you want to be inappropriate, you're not at fault. I'm at fault because I chose to wear something that was form-fitting or that showed my body or that was looked at as sexy. Because I chose that, because I chose to look like sexy, or I wanted to wear something that was more, form-fitting on this day. Now it doesn't matter what someone says, because in a sense, did I ask for it? Because my body cannot be thought of as just a body. You know what I mean? You guys don't have to deal with, men don't have to deal with that. We do. We're taught early on that we have to be careful about what we put on, because then we'll be seen as a sexual thing. Marx was saying boys and men fall victim to it, but patriarchy frames it as something else men should enjoy and desire. Okay, I can get that. And men are often dismissive of their own and others' their own and others' victimization. That's victim blaming and gaslighting. 100%, it is, and it exists generationally. We end up either learning or teaching our young girls that we are responsible for a man's reaction to us based off how we dress.
Yep.
And
old school shit that comes to the front.
Right. And if a man assaults us, then it's like, well,
then it's our fault.
What was she wearing? What did she look like? Like, it's our fault that he wants to assault someone, that he can't control himself. He can't control what he's thinking or feeling and keep his hands to himself. It's my fault because I chose to wear something that's a little sexy or a little provocative, that another man can't keep his hands to himself. My body is one to be objectified because I have a curvaceous body. So now I got to walk around in a paper bag to hope that someone doesn't look at me and treat me a certain way. Crazy, but it exists. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I remember you sent that to me, Mark, and it started with the tear of when it started from the bottom to the top and how it looked.
Did I just go out again?
Yeah, for 2 seconds it came back. Anyway, oh, word?
Yeah.
I'm about to look at it on the podcast and see what happened. Nah, you went out.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's happening.
Anyway, yeah, if it was me, I couldn't be a lawmaker. Because if you want to do the R word, I like a blowtorch. Yeah. Gonna burn that thing off while you woke. Yeah, sound like fun to me. Anyway, gonna continue on. I mean, if y'all don't agree with the rules, don't do it. Yeah, that women dress a certain way, so I guess you do. Like, when you hear that stuff all day long, and it's like, but what y'all worrying about it for? Like, how does it affect you? Are you mad because you can't talk to the person, or your ass is horny, you can't deal with the fact that she's doing this? I don't get it. What's up, Gabs?
How many women do you feel, if they were not objectified, would freely dress how they want to without fear? Most. I think women.
I think everybody would.
It does go for it does apply for everyone, of course, but I think, like, with women in general, I think we are all because it starts at such an early age, we are all at some point battling what is appropriate versus what is not appropriate. some women have a level of freedom where they don't feel like they don't care. They've reached a point where they just don't care, but they
What's
still know
going
that
on, y'all, on the
this. Like
Instagram
some
side?
are at a place where they can just like they feel comfortable enough with themselves that they are going to do it regardless, in spite of, because it's an ownership of their sexuality, right? And they've reached that place, but they still very much know that that objectification still exists, even though they're taking ownership of their bodies and what they want to wear and what they want to do with it, with their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
They still are very aware that it does exist. It doesn't make it go away. It doesn't negate it. It still exists. They're just saying, I'm just going to do it this way.
Right.
But I feel like we probably are all in some way are not fully, a lot of women are not in full freedom of what we want to wear, what we choose to wear, because we're always in some way thinking about what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. Even if it's not living in the forefront of our minds, it still exists for us because it's something that's taught at such a young age that it's almost like you can't help but think about it. You know what I mean? Even if you think about in the context of the church, like me growing up in the church, for me to wear a dress without sleeves, I used to think it was so weird that my arms were going to be thought of as sexy. Like, that's inappropriate because you can see my bare arms. Wild to me. Like, weird that my arms, or I might be showing too much shoulder. So you mean to tell me I have to sweat and burn up in this long sleeve dress? I'm over exaggerating, but you know, just for reference, like, you mean to tell me that everything that I have to wear has to have a sleeve because some man can't control his fantasies because he's looking at my shoulder? Gross. Right, those ankles are showing type of vibe. Exactly. Like the fact that you're telling me that I might be seen as tempting someone because I'm showing my shoulders and have too much of my arms out is wild. But it's embedded in us.
The rape language.
Right, it's embedded in us at such a young age of what's appropriate versus what is inappropriate because of how someone else is going to look at us. Do I think that there are certain things that exist in certain situations that might be too provocative? Of course, for depending on the situation, maybe something isn't appropriate to wear in certain settings, but it doesn't. But I think when it's backed by the context of you're going to tempt someone, or you're going to look like somebody too sexy, or you're going to like give off the wrong vibe of the kind of person that you are, when it's supposed to speak to who I am and what kind of sexual advances I want, that's wild. That's crazy. But it exists. Right.
It exists like a motherfucker. So
yeah. It definitely, like, it's, I don't know. It's sad because I think we all do it. And then sometimes it's not, I don't think it's a chain that's easily broken, because then you start to think, if I don't give my daughter some sort of level of guide, am I opening her up to people treating her a certain way? Because it exists throughout like our social thread that men think that it's okay to treat a woman a certain way just because of how she looks and how she dresses. So if I don't tell my daughter, like, this might not be appropriate to wear here and you might want to consider it, I think it's our job to say it doesn't mean that you are wanting certain sexual advances or that you're asking for certain sexual advances, but that men might feel like it's okay to give you certain sexual advances because of the way that you're dressed. And I don't even know if that's okay. Like, it's just, the whole thing is like this very slippery, icky slope that, you know, we as women have to walk on like all the time. It blows my mind how we're quicker to dictate how girls dress than check these girls. 100%. The fact that it's so easy for people to victim blame. Even when it's like, it can come down to like, someone can be assaulted and then automatically people start to question the kind of woman that the girl was. Fuck the fact that she was assaulted. Now they're going to start questioning, what was the girl like? Like, what was, what kind of person was she? What was her dating past? Like, what was she doing? Is this something that she does, like, on a, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that we even have to ask those questions and question the validity of an assault because it's a woman. So maybe she was asking for it. crazy.
Mm.
Crazy and sad.
It sucks. It's like as women, y'all deal with this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you deal with this shit all the time. It's even worse when you gotta have conversations with people who entice this shit, who actually thinks of this shit, who actually is just making sense, trying to make sense of this shit. You know, like.
Mm-hmm. And then you also have like it's evident on social media. Like I had a conversation this week with a friend. We were talking about how we know women who will post things that are on TikTok that are supposed to be thought of as sexy, but you can always tell that they're slightly trying to hide themselves. Like they don't feel comfortable being fully sexy. They're either trying to hide it by being silly or just kind of like being in the shadows or by like covering something up. And it lets you know that there's a level of discomfort with being sexy, even if it's not in an overtly sexual way. Like there's this one young lady and she posts content that is supposed to be, draw a man's eye. She's fully clothed, no skin is showing. But because the context of the song or maybe like what she's trying to invoke is sexual, she tends to always like be hidden in some way to lessen it, to dampen it down, because she doesn't want to be looked at in a certain way. Or it's either that, because I don't want to be looked at in a certain way, or because being able to express yourself in that way feels uncomfortable.
Mm.
It makes it feel like you're asking for unwanted attention.
It's still weird as fuck. Like,
yeah. And just take the TikTok that I had before. Like, yes, I knew that people were going to see it in a certain way. But did I think I would get all the responses that I thought I was going to get? No.
Word.
Because it wasn't overt. It wasn't it was tasteful, it was a tasteful video. It wasn't supposed to garner that kind of attention, but it did. Right. And it made me almost want to take it down. Like, it made me almost want to second guess whether or not those are the kind of posts that I can make, because I don't want people thinking they can talk to me in a kind of way. And then I had to be like, no, they're the creepers, not me. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this video. I didn't do anything inappropriate. I didn't show anything inappropriate. I was just being a woman. And yet people still felt like they could say the most wildest stuff to me.
When being a woman goes wrong, I guess. Stupid.
Here's the question. In the workplace, women who are touchy with male coworkers, which make them uncomfortable, no one bats an eye. But if a male coworker was touchy with a woman, HR is being called. Someone should bat an eye. That's not right when that exists. Like, no one should be touching anybody. No one should be giving anyone any unwanted touch. But you know what the stigma is? The stigma exists where men are not supposed to be thought to feel like it makes them feel uncomfortable, right. Which is sad. Men are supposed to just be able to handle it, or they're thought that they can that they're supposed to almost like it. That's the crazy part. Like, a man, there's this stigma that men are supposed to like that kind of attention, or they can just they can handle it. But it should go both ways. Unwanted touch from anyone or attention from anyone in the workplace is just that, unwanted touch and attention. Mm-hmm. Go to HR. It should be just as it should be taken just as seriously for both. It's inappropriate is inappropriate, regardless.
Well, it should exist.
Yeah.
People do it. 24/7 classes, all at once. Patriarchy.
True. So true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm right now. I feel like we have covered a lot. And I really thank you, Basin, for going in so strong about this, because I know this is my topic, but I think because you had some time to think about it and how we came up with it and stuff like that and did the topic itself, it really put perspective in for you and other people that have dealt with this. And I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think it's something that people don't talk about, not in this way often. Like, we all know that it exists, but we don't really get to talk about it a lot or say it. We just accept it, giggle it off, and then move on. You know what I mean? It's just like, before we go, we have 10 minutes. Have you guys seen lately on TikTok this guy? I can't even think of his name. And if anybody knows his name in here, please tell me. He works with Tyler. He's worked in some Tyler Perry movies, and he just came out like 2 days ago talking about sexual harassment and unwanted sexual advancements that have happened from someone, a billionaire in the industry, came to him for years, has been coming to him with unwanted sexual advances. It's a man. And who is a male, he said, that asked him to strip for money. And he was like, no, I don't want that. And the guy bought a car for him to like apologize for his advances, but also like still has never stopped being inappropriate with him. He said in his video that Christian Keys, that's his name, he's made recordings. So like, because
Wait, Christian Keys is the one that's getting advances at him?
Yes.
It's only 2 billionaires a minute I can think of.
That's why everybody's like,
either T-Pain.
T-Pain.
I call him T-Pain.
Tyler Perry?
Or
no, not Diddy.
All right.
So everyone is speculating that it's either Tyler Perry or Lee Daniels, and there was somebody else that was thrown in there today that I'd never seen before.
Papa Diddy Pop.
He says that he has recordings, that this person he thought of them as a mentor and a brother for years until this started to happen. That he wants to come forward, and he has recordings that he has not done on his phone. He had these pins that you can like record. He said if he played them, everybody would know the voice automatically. It's a distinct voice. Everybody would know who it was, and he wants to out them. But what I was about to say was the discourse that has come out from people around this, the level of disbelief that this even happened to him, crazy to me. The level of, oh, he must have ulterior motives, sad. The fact that people are questioning how much he let happen and how much he was okay with. Why are we doing this to anyone who says it? So even if that is the case, why is that what we do? Why are we not allowing this man to say, I feel like I've had unwanted sexual advances from this person for years and I don't want to deal with it anymore? Why is it not okay for him to say that? Or people being like, well, he got to be lying because why is he teasing us and not telling us what the name is? He don't have to do nothing but say that he's tired of it and he don't want it to happen anymore. Who knows why he came out on social media and said it? But it's the way people are questioning his motives, how much he let go, how much he wanted. Like that, all that feels icky to me. Yeah, people are saying it's either Lee Daniels or Tyler Perry. Men need to speak up more like Christian because many have been forced to act if they want. Right. It exists for men too. He said if something, right. So his point was, if something happens to me, I want this. I'm doing this in case something happens to me. But the fact that a man can say this, same thing for Terry Crews when he came out and mentioned that he had been sexually harassed by someone. He had been SA'd, sexually assaulted by someone, and no one believed him because he was a big black man. They were like, how you gonna let somebody, you think just because that doesn't mean that he can't be sexually assaulted by someone?
Right.
The fact that we are questioning men and they're not allowed to say that they've been sexually assaulted or got unwanted advances or had someone make them feel, come on. And then we don't even support them because we're too busy questioning what their motives are. Because he's a man. And also it's also partially because we're greedy and we want all the information, and because he hasn't told us what the information is, now we want to question everything that he says, because he can't be telling the truth if he just won't say who it is. Why don't he just say who it is? Why don't you just leave him alone and let him handle it how he wants to handle it? Why don't you just do that? Just because he's big doesn't mean he can feel they're limited in their agency due to lopsided power dynamics. 100%. People are often in a position where the power dynamics put them in a place where they don't feel like they can say no to something that they would normally say no to. That's why a lot of women were sexually assaulted by people like Harvey Weinstein. Like, they were in a position where they thought they would lose their career, never work again, and they consented or didn't consent, but just let it happen and didn't say anything because they didn't know what would happen, if anybody would believe them, if they would ever work again. Or they said no, but still, like, it happened and they were like, I'm not going to talk again. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want anyone to judge me. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to not be able to work anymore. I don't want to be blackballed. They paid me up. There's so many factors that play a part in this that can exist for both men and women. It's not just one or the other.
Right. Well,
Mac, you better go to sleep.
that's probably one of that's probably one of the reasons. No, I'm like looking at something. You'll see. I'm gonna put it in the thing in a second. That's one of the reasons why I always wanted to be some type of celebrity or something like that. I'm not saying it happens to everybody, but it's like the fact that it happens to so many people is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You sure it wasn't R. Diddy?
No, he doesn't. He said it's someone that he works with. Oh my, why is that a merge, like a morph of their faces? That was terrifying.
Just saying. It was R. Diddy.
If there was ever a face of a predator, that would be it.
Just saying. I had to post it up there real quick, but all right. Any final words you got to say or anything?
No, I think I probably said way too much.
No, you said exactly what you was about to say. Just the so many times I
let it happen just to avoid arguments. Yeah, it happens a lot.
What's sad is, like, there's people in this world that they attack women, they do all this other shit, but it's like you can't do nothing to that. You can't. There's no way you could do something like that to their families or anything. Not saying I want to, of course, never saying that. But it's like they want to protect everything on their side, but they don't protect nothing on any other sides or anything like that. It's like it's the dumbest logic ever. It really is. Like, everybody else is exempt on your side, but you can do everything, do the worst possible things to everybody else.
True. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, biggest lesson learned is, stop over-sexualizing people. Stop treating everybody like as if they're just an object of your affection, the object, the toy, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have it. You just can't fucking have it. It is what it is.
There was an incident with Aziz Ansari. Now I got to Google that because I don't know what happened.
I don't even know. I can't begin to tell you if I knew who it was.
I know who Aziz Ansari, but I just don't know what the issue is.
I don't know what's happening with it. But listen, shouts out to everybody. Like I said, once again, thank y'all for joining us and all that other good stuff. I know we got like 2 minutes left, so we can do a quick outro. I have this picture sitting here, but I always try to post it, yo. That shit fire, yo.
Where did you get that?
I don't know. That shit wild.
So funny.
Yeah. I got titties. Anyway. One's on fire. Of course. Listen, my God, Joe. Thank you for joining, Joe. Every time I go live, you pop up, you jump through, you show some love. Like I said, Joe, follow us on the other platforms too. If you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, anything like that, I can always just send you a personal message and try to get you on this show. Your insight is very much loved and needed. And hopefully is out here helping people and at least give us some insights and stuff, because you're very positive and you keep it 100 with the conversation and you keep it right on the conversation. So that's pretty dope. He put a smile on Basic face. Look at that. Yeah. Put a smile on her face. But everybody else, y'all know who y'all are. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thanks,
Tori, Joy, Charles, Joe. I got Tim. Of course, Tim. I don't know if you're going live in a little bit, Tim, but he probably won't. Tim join lives. He don't go live no more. Torre, with always with the great facts. B for Barkers, aka Marcus. Thanks, Gabby, for popping up and showing up real quick. Who else was here earlier? Mel, as always, is coming here. I feel like she coming here, throw a bomb real quick, let it sit there and roll around, and then she leave. I mean, my man Tapping, no capping. Make sure y'all check him out on YouTube. They talk about anime, talk about anything, sports related sometimes. It's my guy. He's been doing this thing for a minute now. Try to get him to grow that page so he can get to where he need to be, because everybody wants to be successful. But the fact that you're so happy about this is crazy.
Wait a second.
You're gonna find a way how to do that shit again. She's going to find a way how to do it again.
Every time we end, I'm leaving.
Just don't make no sense. Armani Vis, good luck for you joining. My man Metz had joined in. The whole crew. My man Lance, thank you for joining in earlier in the conversation. Kiera, everybody who came through, shouts out, y'all. Y'all help us grow every day. Please share this out to everybody. Get somebody on here and seeing what we talk about. All the good conversations. Always looking to have way more conversations, better conversations, old conversations, but expanding upon them. And next Monday we will not be on.
No, it's Christmas time.
Christmas. I'm not a Christmas person, so I might be here. No, I'm playing. Be like, huh? All right.
You stole Christmas.
I'm not gonna be a Grinch, but I want the people to make sure that they see us, because we tend to leave and y'all tend to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers don't come back. Don't come back. Yeah, I figured. Today has been great. Thank you, Toddy. Oh, shit.
Don't start him.
We got to. Listen, is it Christmas? Can I get a Christmas present?
No, that is not going to be the Christmas present. Absolutely not.
Come on.
Absolutely not.
Come on.
Nope. Not happening. Put your fingers away. Put your hand. It's never gonna happen.
Come on.
It's not even gonna be a Christmas miracle.
Damn. Can I play the video once though? Because we're not gonna be here next week.
Sure.
Yo, y'all can't lie. That shit look cool. You can't even lie, basic.
It's okay, Melody. It is fine.
Damn, Mel.
You can always rewatch the show and just come back next time.
Hey, look. What's up, Mel? How are you? Come back and watch it. Come back and watch it. I hope you have fun. Come on, arts and crafts. All right, but we will be back. Now I got another question. You sure we ain't gonna be able to do a show soon? Because isn't New Year's the next Monday after that?
I don't know.
It is.
No, we can just reschedule it, do it a different day. How about that? We'll just reschedule it and do it a different day. Is that okay?
Sure.
Will that work?
What day?
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, let me leave you alone. All right, y'all. We out of here.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Happy holidays. I'm not saying that again.